Hey there. You might think of China as a cheap place to make and buy things, but you know what? That's changing. China is getting more expensive, and it's not just about inflation. The country is going through a major economic shift. So let's break down what's really going on. One of the biggest reasons for rising costs in China is labor. In 2024, the average income from wages in China hit over 3,200 US dollars per person, and it's been growing steadily. In cities like Shanghai, minimum wages have gone up more than 60% since 2013. That's a huge jump. This means factories have to pay workers more, especially in high-tech areas and finance. So the cost to make products, from electronics to clothing, has gone up, and that cost often gets passed on to the buyers, whether they're companies or regular people shopping online. Secondly, tariffs. Before we move on, let me tell you what are tariffs. So basically they are extra taxes that one country charges on goods coming in from another country. They're meant to make imported products more expensive, usually to protect local businesses or respond to trade disputes. Remember the U.S. China trade war? Well, that tension is still very much alive. In 2025, the U.S. slapped heavy tariffs, up to 126% on some Chinese products. China fired back with tariffs of its own, some going over 140%. This back and forth makes it more expensive to ship goods between the two countries. In China, some factory workers now earn more than $7 an hour. That's higher than in countries like Vietnam or India. On top of that, China is shifting toward smart factories. These upgrades are great for quality, but they cost a lot up front. Here's where it gets interesting. While it's getting more expensive to make things in China, prices for everyday shoppers haven't shot up. In fact, China's inflation rate in early 2025 was slightly negative, meaning overall prices actually dipped down a bit. Why? Because demand inside China is weak right now. People aren't spending much, and that keeps the prices low, even if production is more expensive. Also, the food and fuel prices have stayed pretty stable. But if demand picks up, we could see consumer prices rise to match the higher production costs. Now, because selling to the U.S. has become more complicated, China is now focusing on selling to other countries, especially in Southeast Asia and Europe. Another piece of the puzzle is China's labor force. All of these factors add up to one big takeaway. China is no longer just a cheap place to manufacture goods. The country is evolving, and it's aiming to become a leader in tech and innovation. The low-cost model that made China the world's factory is fading. So is China still affordable compared to the US or Europe? In many ways, yes. That's it for this video. If you got any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments. See you in the next one.